What means
Okay,
roar, roar, roar? What means Mahamudra?
Mahamudra means great seal.
What means great seal?
Okay, so what it means, the seal is that there's nothing outside the mind. Everything is contained in the mind. Nothing abides outside the mind. So that is the seal. It is sealed. And there is no higher realization than this. That's why it's called Maha. Great.
Okay.
That's great seal.
Great seal. How to realize that, recognize that measure?
How to recognize Mahamudra?
Yeah.
Khenpo, that's the $64,000 question.
Just give me specific something from this book when you talked last week.
Well, we need our teacher. Only through our teacher can we realize this. Through our lama.
Okay, so this can only be realized through the guidance of the Sublime Lamas who themselves have experienced.
Yes.
Yes.
Some nature. Okay. Amanda, so then here's the when you practice Mahamudra, so there's so many different kind of experience, obstacles, how to they are take to in the path. The highest level taking the path, highest level.
I think highest level is dissolving all those obstacles into Mahamudra meditation. Is that correct?
Yes. So all is dissolving into the nature, right?
Yes, into Buddha nature. Yes.
Yeah. If we just totally dissolve into the original nature as explained above. How to dissolve everything in the nature?
Well, I want to do that. Follow your teacher's guidance and put great effort. Mahamudra meditation.
Okay, so if you have a something going on, example here says, so when we have doubts or paranoia, difficult to engage in virtuous practice, of these terms, we should take everything as for the path. So how do you going to take that in the path?
Meditation that you've given us and the practices that our teacher given us, is that?
So the main point is in here, this essence of Mahayana, what that says, like how to dissolve this one. Okay, if one day you have a lot of thoughts going on, so you are in the meditate, then how to take that emotion is in the path.
About this.
I
think I'm a little confused about this. I would love to hear your answer on this.
Okay, Sandra, can you give me how to take the path?
I don't know for sure. I would try to remember emptiness, but still that might not help if it's a strong emotion. So I would just supplicate the guru for help, really, or the deity, but probably the guru.
Okay. Debbie?
Me, Debbie Connor.
Yeah, Debbie B, okay, Debbie B. Ohio, Debbie B. Both is working, so.
Go ahead, Debbie Connor.
All right. So if you're going to take it as a path, you have to take your disturbing emotions and your thoughts and not reject them, but see through them, examine them, and let them dissipate. Don't hold on to them, and don't force yourself away from them. And see that their true nature is empty. I would
Yes, Debbie Connor, we didn't hear.
You didn't hear me?
Okay, can you say again?
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I thought you heard. Hold on. If you're going to take the disturbing emotions and the thoughts to the path, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, good. You're going to take it on the path, so you can't reject them. You can't try to force them out of your mind.
Okay.
You have to see through them, see right into them,
Okay.
and make them dissolve.
Okay. Then.
And this is not only, so this would not only be in terms of meditation, but in the rest of life. You may encounter like difficulties, bad dreams, whatever, at the, even in post meditation, you're going to have to look.
Cherry,
Oh,
Cherry, can you explain how do you take the path?
So I agree with a lot of what Debbie said, that when obscurations or emotions arise, that we recognize that, we see it, we let them go, we watch them dissolve into emptiness.
Okay.
And we don't let ourselves become wrapped up in the emotion, if you will. Just watch what they do and watch that they naturally arise and they naturally disappear or dissipate. They come and go like waves. Is that?
Okay, so good. Yeah, then Debbie.
yes, as I understood what you said last week, just adding on to Debbie and Cheryl, I think we're all kind of saying the same thing, as meditators would rest in the nature of mind. So if an obstacle arose, they would look at it like a wave on the top of the ocean and just dissolve it back into the ocean. And that would be resting in the nature of mind.
Okay. What about Thomas?
Khenpo. Oh boy. No, the question was, how do we take it into the path?
Yeah.
Must be able to transform these thoughts and feelings to take into the path. I know it's our true Mahamudra meditation can dissolve all the negative emotions, sickness, obstacles, and can go beyond, stay in the natural mind.
Stay in natural mind.
That's the notes I have, Khenpo. Sorry.
Oh, you do like that or no? Do you do like that way?
Oh no, sir. I'm nowhere near that stage. I'm nowhere near there. I'm still a very beginner.
Okay. What was the tongue?
Just like what everybody else said, just rest in awareness without hoping or fearing. That's it.
Okay. Yeah, that's just main point is everything, whatever comes, right? All is we dissolve into the original nature. As explained above means above Mahamudra teaching. Emotion, thoughts, sickness, obstacle arise. The everything is taken into the path means you just into the nature state, meditate. Or is dissolved into the nature, yeah. So that is this method, the highest level method. Then we have so many different methods. So all you are right, everyone has different ways explain. Okay, so now tonight I think that we have enough. Thanks everyone. So now we are page 150.
I have a question on that. Is it, if it's all right?
Yes, sir.
If Mahamudra is the state of unchanging, then thoughts and so forth are really, since they're continually changing, you really can't rely on them. They're not important. So you just recognize and try to continue on with the Mahamudra. Is that close to anything significant?
Can you say again? I didn't understand. You mean changing means Mahamudra changing, or what is you mean?
Mahamudra is not changing. That's absolute.
Then
if you reach the ultimate state, it seems.
Yes. So then.
So thoughts are continually changing. They're going to be there no matter what you do. So all you can do is recognize them. You can't make sense out of them. You just try to not let them interfere with the Mahamudra. That's a statement, not from any authority. That's just how I feel right now.
Okay, so I didn't 100% understand. Anyone have any answer? That's one. Who understand clearly EDG's question?
Could I ask?
No one?
I could try to ask it this way. I don't know, Ed. You have to say if it's
Okay.
As you develop in Shine and Vipassana, does your mind slow down and calm down? Do your thoughts get quiet? Or are you always, if you're at the Mahamudra stage, are you still struggling with many thoughts arising?
Thoughts are always going to be there.
Well, maybe
they're not significant.
Okay, maybe. That's my question, I guess. I'm not sure.
Why? I don't see thoughts as being important if you're trying to proceed with Mahamudra. That's.
So Ed, are you saying that thoughts are, oh, it looks like my internet connection is unstable. Ed, are you saying that thoughts are Dharmakaya, so why worry with them?
No.
Okay, sorry.
I'm saying that, I mean, the thoughts are, can be samsara, they can be nirvana, they're all mind, I guess. And
thoughts can be, what we can say, like thoughts can be thoughts, or thoughts can be Dharmakaya. Thoughts can be negative, thoughts can be positive, right? That is depending individual ability. So you recognize the thoughts is emptiness, and then that is like thought has become positive. You liberate the thought. Thoughts can be negative because when thoughts arise, we don't recognize, then follow the thoughts. Thoughts bring the emotions. So then that is the causes of samsara. When thoughts arise, you recognize thoughts. Thoughts is emptiness, no existence. So then thoughts is liberate. That is the causes of dharmakaya. Then thoughts exist or no exist is depending individual, right? So people who don't know how to meditate, then thoughts is exist. People who know the meditate, the thoughts is not exist because it's thoughts is transformed into the dharmakaya. Just we said here, thoughts this whatever emotion comes or is dissolved into the nature. Not let them to do the job. The thoughts, emotions, obstacles, whatever arise, everything is put into the ocean in the water or Mahamudra. They cannot do anything.
Khenpo, is this analytical meditation before we were good meditators?
Voice is cut, then I didn't have one part.
Okay. Is what you just described, is that analytical meditation until we get to the point where we're good meditators?
We use analytical meditation, but just I share is resting mind meditation, Mahamudra we're talking about. Yeah. Analytical is researching, right? Checking. Analyze means like using your how to say, using wisdom or investigating. But when you meditate, this Mahamudra not investigating anything.
So there's no thought. So as the thought arises, there's no person to say, oh, that's a thought, that's empty, that doesn't exist. That because it's
if you think that thoughts arise or this thought is empty, then you are already into the conceptual thoughts, not non-conceptual.
Right.
Yeah.
What happens if we get stuck there?
So then just you think, our thoughts arise, go back to meditate into the nature. Then that is like go back and forth, right? You come to the thought conceptual and then go into the nature.
Okay, so just let it go, in other words, and then go back to meditate. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, well, I thank you. That clarified what I wanted to say.
Okay.
Can I ask a question? It's related to this. When we are meditating and when we see that our mind is Dharmakaya, I mean, we don't use any thoughts, or we visualize our mind as Dharmakaya.
No visualize. You don't have to think about the mind. Okay. You cannot think my mind is Dharmakaya. Dharmakaya means like not thinking, no cultivating anything, no projecting, and no draw is Dharmakaya, no dualistic.
Yes, okay.
Yeah,
Thanks a lot.
You're welcome. Okay, so now we're going into the teaching. Knowing how to bring that into the path is very important. So it's death, suffering, or death, this like pardo, everything is on to the path, means like taking into the path. Death, suffering is taking into the path. Actually, we talked lots, during our lifetime. Then thoughts, emotions, and different kind of obstacles, sickness, that's all taking into the path, use the Mahamudra meditation. So the main point last week in the Mahamudra, whatever thoughts, emotions, obstacles, like negative, anything arise, just look into your mind, stay in the nature, then everything is become dissolved, the main point. Okay, like snow falling into the ocean, same is like that, dissolved. So your mind needed to stay in the nature, and then thoughts, emotions become, everything is dissolved. Means they're not going to create negative anything, cannot generate anything negative. Because everything is going to dissolve. Whatever comes, you just stay in the nature, the main point. So then if you meditate that way, also helpful when we die. So know how to bring death, onto the path. Use this Mahamudra meditation. Death also can take into the path. It's very important. It's very important for everyone, because who die, then this practice is very important for everyone. So I wanted to briefly touch on this subject here. So then I'm going to share is a short way and the information about this death is onto the path, taking into the path, death, suffering is. If during the course of our lives, we have become familiar and habituated in the practice of taking whatever circumstances arise as for the path. So main point is in our lifetime. So thoughts, emotions, and negative anything, whatever comes, if you can take in the path, then you can take this death into the path too. And also during the lifetime, we have to meditate Mahamudra, we have to habituate. If long as you have habituated meditation Mahamudra, and you practice Mahamudra, then you can bring death into the path. So otherwise, only just listening, teaching, like intellectually you understand the Mahamudra, that cannot, this death and emotions and obstacles, sickness, that cannot take into the path, So we have right now is like study and intellectually, sometimes not really clearly, but most people I think study this all Mahamudra, receive teachings, understanding intellectually what means Mahamudra. Then after that we have to meditate and practice. We have to habituate. If we don't habituate, then not possible to, like already talked here, that's also cannot take into the path. So during our lives, we have become familiar and habituate in the practice of taking whatever circumstances arise, means whatever this negativity arise, taking into the path, for the path. Then when we are dying, so if you do that during the lifetime, when we are dying and we experience the stages of dissolution, and such. So so then when we die, you know, when we die has like many different stages. The stage of dissolution, the breath, you know, outer level, inner level, there is dissolving, ceases, or this breath, and have different levels of the dissolution stage. So the stages of dissolution and such, no matter what arises at that time, whatever arises, so we use the same method. The death has many different experiences, different stages. So the main point here, the Jigtin Songgu say you don't have to use different kind of method. Use only one method. We will be able to simply recognize what is happening when the dissolution time, you know. So recognize, you know, whatever the happening, and this five elements is dissolving to the 5 elements. You know, that time you recognize what's going on yourself. Then we ought or cooked, or what is it that how to read? Ought, right?
Ought.
Okay, we ought. We ought not have hope or fear. So then we ought not have hope or fear. No fear, no hopes. That's very important, but it's of course who don't know how to meditate Mahamudra, not possible without this. Ordinary people of course have ought and like hope too, hope and fears too. We ought not have hope or fear. The people who die, they always have fears because due to the selfish, self-grasping. And person who meditate Mahamudra, then when they die, they don't have these fears, they don't have hopes. So that's the reason we ought not have hope or fear, ought not resist or try to create anything. So not try to create anything, like even like you don't have to visualize anything. You don't hope like I wanted to reborn to higher realms. You know, no fear to reborn to the lower realms. And this is the highest level method because it's like Mahamudra state, means free from hopes and free from fears. Then we ought not have a doubt or paranoia. So then the die person, when we die, what do we have to do? Whatever arises, without modifying anything, just be in that awareness. Just recognize, be in the state, nature, you know, means like stay in the nature, be awareness. Stay in the mind nature. Simply substanding naked. So vivid awareness. So that's always like Mahamudra nature. This awareness, naked, no any thoughts, vivid, clear, and awareness. So stay in that natural mind. To the natural mind. If you can do that, after the stages of dissolution, means like then all this after like dissolving these 5 elements one by one, the last then dissolution, the outer breath going out. I think sometimes they say inner breath going out, sometimes the outer breath go out. So I don't know which one is exactly, you know, the nature is arising. So sometimes there's a outer breath is gone and then nature is arise. Sometimes there's a inner breath is gone, then nature is arise. So whenever the last stage, the nature is arising. Dissolution, after the stages of dissolution are complete, then the nature luminosity will shine forth. See, nature luminosity is shines forth. So your reality is arise. So that is like mother nature luminosity, mother luminosity. Because like reality arise. So awareness, so where natural luminosity will shine forth. At this time, if you have familiarized yourself, means like you meditate yourself during the lifetime, you already practice Mahamudra with the luminosity of the path while you were alive. So then this is a like child luminosity. During the lifetime we practice meditation is called child luminosity. And in the Pardo, the nature arise is called mother luminosity. See, during the lifetime you meditate, practice that meditation, practice Mahamudra is called child luminosity. That's the reason here says, at this time, you know, if you have familiarized, means during the lifetime yourself with the luminosity of the path while you were alive. So this natural luminosity will be familiar to you. So that helps you to recognize, you know, mother luminosity. Helps you to recognize mother luminosity to you. And like a child recognizing its mother, see, child recognize mother and reuniting with her. So the main point is the last stage of the death. Every nature. So that nature is called mother luminosity. Means like all like kind of open space. Yeah. And thoughts, emotions, nothing is exist, like won't come out. Then that time, people who meditate during the lifetime, that called the child luminosity, means that we practice, our practice child luminosity. Child recognize mother means, so in the last stage of the death, Pardo has this mother luminosity, like all the sentient beings arise, nature. No thoughts, no emotions, you know, non-conceptual one arise, yeah. So how long stay that we don't know, that already told in the Pardo teaching. So sometimes like some individuals stay very long, some individuals stay very short. So dependent individual, because meditators and who has good this channels, veins, and they stay longer, right? You remember? Do you remember in the Pardo teaching? Some is like very stage, very short time. Some stay like almost like during the eating time, you know, 1 meal time. So some is very short moments, not too long. So that is, we don't know how long. But anyway, during the lifetime, you meditate, you recognize that nature. Child recognize mother. So then child and mother reuniting, same like your own practice meditation is reuniting with the mother luminosity. And then you liberate there, you are become enlightenment in the Pardo. So that's the helps like meditators, like if you meditate in this lifetime, in the Pardo is become enlightenment. Who can enlightenment in the Pardo, then that person body also has a called Tokdam, you know, like special sons, because of their first level, they liberate. Then that person don't need to go to like Devachin or Pioling like that, because like no need to create anything. That is called highest level liberation, Dharmakaya state. So that means like you meditate Mahamudra, all this death is also take into the path. So now, if you are will be familiar to you, and like a child recognize its mother and reuniting with her, you will merge into this luminosity like water dissolving into water. So just water dissolve into the water. Water is falling into the water, same thing. Your meditation nature is like inseparably the Pardo, the Dharmakaya nature arise. It's inseparable, that nature. Actually, the nature is, they said, every morning arise when you wake up. But it's too short time we don't recognize. So when you first state wake up, of course, no thoughts there. But then right away deluded, mind is be arise I. You know, then I is bring the already fears. So meditators, when wake up, the naturally arise, natural state arise too. Then, see, that's a reason Mahamudra meditators, Yadam deity practitioners, all has a different kind of ways like the liberating. Yadam deity meditators, when they wake up, is arise the Yadam form. You know, when you wake up, it's already like arise Yadam deity. Meditate. Ordinary people, when wake up, no recognizing nature is so subtle, and I. When we wake up, I. So that's you actually you recognize you can liberate in the Pardo or not. So when you wake up in the morning, arise I, not possible to the liberate in the Pardo. So when you wake up in the morning, arise nature state, empty, Dharmakaya. So then in the Pardo, you are liberation to the Dharmakaya. And when you wake up in the morning, arise Yadam deity, and then you liberate in the Pardo is a Sambodhakayana form. So that's also become Buddha, Buddhahood. The luminosity of a path where you were alive. So where is the, here I say, like water dissolving into the water, and you were, if your meditation was insufficient and you do not awaken to Buddhahood at that point, if you don't have like really strong enough practice Mahamudra, your meditation is not that strong, it's weak. You don't have like really familiarity, not yet. Even you meditate, if you meditate, but still like, you don't have a really strong practitioner meditation. If you meditate was sufficient and you do not awaken to Buddhahood, if you don't awaken Buddhahood at that point, by power of your familiarization with the Pardo, then or still they have a power if you meditate. So this part is loosely more shamatha meditations too. You know, shamatha, who meditate shamatha, and any meditate, because mind is become stable. So long as your mind is stable, you have that kind of level practice meditation. Then the Pardo, the period between death and rebirth. So when we die and then after rebirth, the between and the practice of mindful rebirth. So you still you have a power because your mind is like still you can control them, not that kind of shaking, and your mind is stable. You can control your mind. So long as you can control mind, you can choose the right birth. So you can pick up the right directions. You have ability to do that. Even you know in the Pardo is become Buddha, but meditation help you to pick up the right birth, not going to wrong direction. So you will be in control of where you go. So you can have controls to, you can pick up the right path and maybe human being's body, or you know where you wanted to reborn, you have a choice because you can control the mind. So that is even like you meditate Mahamudra, not even not enlightened in the Pardo, but still you can control your mind. That's benefit. If you know that great practitioner, you still you can the mind to choose good rebirth. The reason we need to realize Mahamudra is explained in the root text as follows. So why we have to realize Mahamudra? So that reason is this root text say we have to realize Mahamudra. Topen namdros sikpe jingpan cheng jingpe sikpan cheng. Realize brings you freedom. Grasping keep you stuck in samsara. So realize we are freedom from samsara. So grasping keeps us in stuck samsara. Which one we're going to choose? Everyone choose the real liberation, right? Because everyone like to freedom. We fight the temporary freedoms. Of course, then we have to fight for permanent freedom. This freedom is like liberation, means permanent freedom. So what do we realize? Which kind we have to realize? We realize the true nature of all phenomena of samsara and the nirvana. We have to realize the true nature, not the delusion. We have to recognize the truth one, nature. So like the sky, unconditioned and spontaneously present. So that is the true nature, you know. We say we have to recognize true. So true is like the sky. It's Mahamudra, same as the space, the sky, and unconditioned, free from all this so unconditioned, not compound of phenomena, so unconditioned and spontaneously present, always there. Is this natural awareness, the nature of indivisible Mahamudra. So that's also like different ways giving information the nature mind. You know what means nature? Nature means like same as a space. Nature means unconditioned and spontaneously present. Awareness, the nature of indivisible Mahamudra. Such realization brings freedom and the attainment of enlightenment. So if you recognize that, realize that, then that brings the freedom and attainment of enlightenment. We have become Buddhahood, free from suffering. If we do not realize this and we grasp at the duality of mind as in inner subject that is separate from an outer object. So if we don't realize it, then we have dualistic thoughts. Dualistic is inner subject is mind and the outer is like separate from the mind, that is separate from an outer object. Then we have a subject and object, we are deluded. So we will be stuck wandering in samsara, then we are stuck in samsara. So the main point is just Mahamudra realize you are liberated, means Mahamudra means no door. So that's easy, just when you meditate, like mind is no thoughts, no emotions, means like really into the nature. That time, no subject, no object, it's pure. It is always there, present. So that is like free from all this fabrication or the also unconditioned. That is unconditioned, always there. No one created that. So that is no compound of phenomena. That's when you stay in your nature, don't project anything, you can feel, you can recognize. So if you familiarize again, meditate again and again, then used to that. So always that nature is come back to you. Means like you long as you have a mindful, is bring that nature with you, recognizing. So that is very good to chant the supplication Tara. Supplication to chant this Tara prayers. Each word is like Mahamudra. So that helps you, helps you like kind of recognize your nature, like support the prayers support you to maintaining the practice, your practice. Sometimes we don't have any support with whatever we're doing, we don't recognize, no. So minds always follow the deluded, that's already used to, not easy to bring awareness. So then when you think about unborn dharma dharma, means unborn dharma that is nature. Deluded we have a born. So you cannot say unborn. Deluded is we have a born, die, exist, no exist. All these things exist in the deluded stage. When long as we have a deluded, all these things exist. Unborn dharma dharma means like you're really already into the nature. So then each words bring you into actually your nature mind. Fears, like say, supplication Tara to please protect me free from fear. So fear also it comes from your mind, log to your mind. Fear is no exist. Then that also words bring into your natural mind too. So anyway, that helps you chant often and often. So that's one supplication Tara prayers easiest I think is like support, like You keep that often yourself, use that to bring your natural mind, helps you. So then the way the yogin is to bring this onto the path is expressed in the root text. Then this yogis practitioners, yogi and yoginis, how to bring this into the path. The practice, like Mahamudras, how to the bring, how to the Mahamudra practice, like all this negative is taking into the path. So I think that is going to explain here. There's a nyamong yishite. Poison is nectar. The klashas are wisdoms. So poison is nectar. Is not for ordinary people. Poison is nectar is for only Mahamudra practitioners. The clashes are wisdom also for Mahamudra practitioners, not for ordinary people. So ordinary beginners, poison is poison. Klasha is klasha. Someone who ingests it. So who eats like small tiny pieces of this poison, that person is die. No questions. So, however, a powerful mantra Rika can recite mantras to remove the toxicity of the poison and turn that same substance into the life reviving nectar. So that is like some people, who has the power of a mantra, that person can do this kind of things. But that means that person is, we cannot say actually Mahamudra practitioner, but that person also have a mantra power. The someone completely someone practice Yidam deity, and then that just like this mantra has power. So if your body is pain, and some people who has this mantra power, the blow, the wings blow to the body, that also helps. And then sometimes like the what they call this, the wet is from the mouth, and give it to like touch to others also helps. That kind of, they have a power. Some people who has a mantra completion practitioners who chant the mantra a lot, and kind of like more someone free from like speech obscurations, because they chant lots of mantra, and then they has the power to do this kind of things. However, a power of mantra Rika can recite mantra to then remove toxicity of the poison, and turn the poison is changed, that some same substance into life reviving nectar that helps for the nectar, like kept life is longer. In the same way, with the practice described above, so someone who meditate Mahamudra, the person's Mahamudra practitioner, of taking everything that arises into the path. So that person takes all this emotion is into the path. Same test, because they have the same nature test. For them is the emotions, poisons, no exist, or is realized emptiness. So that's the reason they can take all this into the nature state. Nature of same test means like taking same direction. The person didn't have a dualistic thought. They don't have a like conceptual dualistic. Then they don't have a good or bad or poison or medicine. No exist for them. So all medicines, poisons become same test. And negativity and bodhicitta is also same test, become no separate. Then when the emotional poisons, the klashas arise, we do not have to push them away. See, they don't have to push away these emotions. Of course, like beginners cannot dealing with the emotions. Emotion. You have to skip that. You have to run away from the emotions. But this practitioner, Mahamudra high realizers, don't have to push the emotions them away. The essence of the 5 poisons has always abide as the 5 wisdoms. See, they take these 5 afflictive emotions into the 5 wisdoms. 5 wisdoms, where does it come from? 5 wisdoms arise from 5 afflictive emotions. So 5 afflictive emotion is already become transformed into the 5 wisdoms. Who can do that? Only this high realizer Mahamudra practitioners can do that. So ordinary people, emotions, wisdom cannot be together. So good is good, bad is bad for us, right? So you cannot bring like good, bad together, yeah? So you say, okay, this is bad, it's great, or this is good, so we are good for that. And this is a positive, this is a negative, we have a separate. That is for ordinary and for beginners. But then this kind of person, high realizers, this free from this conceptual thoughts, no distinctions like good and bad, because no drawer realize emptiness. So that's the reason the path, what there has 5 afflictive emotions, already that 5 afflictive emotions transform to the wisdom, become 5 wisdoms. So you know, so like each wisdom is associated with this different kind of emotions, That's the reason you transform means like you recognize that nature and essence. The nature essence is wisdom, become no negativity exist there. So they have lots of kind of like information or transform also has meanings, transform means. So negative transform is negative is a change to, or you really realize the negativity, nature of the negativity. So nature of negativity is no exist. Example, like think about a fire. Fire is exist for us who has delusions. Then you touch the fire going to burn to you, burn. Yeah. Then realize the emptiness, who has realized emptiness. their fire is not going to affect it for the person means the fire is no exist, it's emptiness. So that means fire is already transformed. Not transformed fire is water. Transform also like we think, oh, transform means like heat is transformed cold. Cold is transformed to heat, not like that. The transform means actually reality is not exist, that one. They're not going to affect it. So that's the reason that reality is wisdom. When it's diluted, then it's negative. When it's realized, that is positive. Do you understand or no? Make sense or no? Hi.
Could you repeat that last part, Khenpo, about negative and positive?
Negative, positive. What I said?
When you realize you are beyond positive or negative.
Yes.
So how can then, when you realize it, you just said it's positive. If realizing,
if you have a positive, then must always have a negative. Then that's a deluded.
Yes.
So, yeah, so that means like we say positive, but actually it's positive also cannot be there. True positive means no opposite of the positive. Positive means like free from negative, positive, that positive.
Oh, okay. Okay. That makes sense. Okay.
Thank you. That helped.
I mean, is it something connected to the bliss, emptiness realization?
Bliss is also just no exist anything there. Bliss is no exist. Just you, some meditator has a bliss means like they have some feeling like kind of bliss, peaceful, happy, right?
I don't know.
Okay.
I guess I thought once you could see the nature of reality, there was something playful and joyful about it. But
yeah.
No.
So when you meditate, do you have a peaceful, happy feeling or no?
Yes.
Yes, right?
Yes.
See, that's also blessed. Like just like depending your level, right? That's also blessed too.
Khenpo, I have a question. May I ask?
So first, let it be wait, okay? Then you can ask question.
Okay.
So we finish this part, and then you can ask question.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. So then have to push them away. The essence of 5 poison has always abide as the 5 wisdom, and we are to simply recognize their original nature. The tantra of Black Yamintaka status. For those who have a great skill for means, the emotional poison become the branch of enlightenment. Samsara is innately nirvana, like lethal poison treated by a mantraric. Sorry, it's phone calling, so that's the lethal poison treated by a mantraric Rika. In this way, our own inner knowing awareness has always been the essence of Dharmakaya. not realizing this is what we label ignorance. Realize of this we label Dharmakaya. Okay, so that's very clearly also information is. So this transforming is a tantra of Black Yamitaka states. So the tantra, the Yamitaka tantra, they talk about this. So for those who have a great skillful means, see who has skillful means, the emotional poison become the branch of enlightenment. Who has a skillful, that is the key. You know, if we don't have a skillful, emotion is not a branch of the enlightenment. Emotion is branch of samsara. So who has a great skillful, then that person, this emotion poison is become branch of enlightenment. Samsara is innately nirvana, then no samsara for them, it's nirvana. Like later poison by mantrika. So mantrika, the care the poison is become no exist. Means like use mantra, then poison, the power is become gone. No more power to care some others. So otherwise poison, like say hala the poison, even eat small pieces of something, is everyone die. But who has the power of mantra, this is that take away the poison's energy. I think it's no more exist. So then that person is not anymore poison. Poison is not exist there. So the main point here is emotion transform means like that term is not no emotion. Transform means not already transform means no emotion. See this the mantra who use the mantra, the take already poison power gone, no more the poison. So that time you cannot say it's poison, it's become nectar, medicine. So that means like the transform means, okay. So then in this way, our own innate knowing awareness, so you recognize your Mahamudra nature has always been the essence of Dharmakaya. So if you recognize that, then you Dharmakaya, I say Dharmakaya, not realize this is what we labor ignorance. Realize of this we will labor Dharmakaya. So you recognize it's a Dharmakaya, you don't recognize it's ignorance. Okay, so now we finish it. There is the 5-part Mahamudra. The fourth one is finished. Fourth is finished. 5-part Mahamudra, the section of meditation Mahamudra. So now you can ask question, we can discussion here. Yes, Lomin, please. Go ahead first. Hi, Lomin, can you hear?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. From your teaching, I have an impression that you are talking Mahamudra practice is different from Idam deity practice. Is it true?
It's the some part is true, some part is not true. some part is true means like because different Yadam we visualize. So Mahamudra don't no need to visualize anything. Then,
So
then some part is the same means some part the same means Yadam Deti nature essence is Mahamudra.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if I want to practice Mahamudra, then if I practice Idam deity, will I be attached to Idam deity's form visualization? Then I would not be realized Mahamudra.
So you realize Idam deity. So you visualize, but then you meditate Mahamudra also, then become your. So first of course good. Can you say again?
Yeah, because I felt that like when you are giving the teaching, it seems there's two different paths. Like when you are talking about poison, you are saying some people they have mantra power, they can get rid of the poison. But if it's a Mahamudra people, it's different because the freedom inside them, and then there's no harmful thing to them. But the power rely on the mantra power is very different from the freedom of your heart, like Mahamudra, isn't it?
I didn't get the differences. Can you say again?
Like if I practice very hard on mantra chanting, and I really get that, like I get some power from it, and then sometimes can use that power, not intentionally, but can use that power. But if I do Mahamudra, I shouldn't rely on this kind of mantra power, isn't it? Because Mahamudra is no nirvana and no samsara and no dualistic, no this, like no in this or that. Isn't it?
So
it's what you are teaching.
There's the example what is mantra power. So I think this who has mantra power, that person also has realized like practice Mahamudra too. Even they don't have a really high level realized, but of course they practice Mahamudra too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I understand. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. There's a Mahamudra. We cannot have much answer in the questions, so you have to you have to just dissolving yourself, right? Most important is I cannot really give answer much, so you can ask question if you have.
I'm still I'm totally confused. I keep going around in circles. What is born? Is there anything that is born?
What is born?
What is born? Yeah, is anything born?
Who knows emptiness, then it's unborn. So first thing about the two truth, relative truth and absolute truth, right? So right now what we're seeing, hearing, thinking, all is a relative truth. We have a born, we have a old age, we have a sickness, we have a death, all this going on. But you really log into your natural mind, then no, this projecting is all gone. The mind is self-arising, not dependent. Mind is no compound of phenomena. Mind is, like unconditioned and uncompounded phenomena. So that is called self-arising. That is free from birth, free from death, free from old age, sickness. So that's why it's called unborn. Yeah.
So all compounded phenomena is born.
Yes, delusionally born. Yes.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yes.
We're trying to get beyond the delusion. All right.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Yes. Exactly. Okay. So Marilyn, I think she has questions.
I don't think I just have to sit and not think.
Okay, dissolve to yourself, right?
Dissolve and be aware. And then I don't know, well, the one thing I wonder about, but I don't think it has anything to do with this, is transforming negativity into positivity. Like, that's just sort of what we do day to day, right? That's not a part of meditation, really, is it?
Yes, yes.
It is?
Yeah, yeah, just the daily life, you just change, transform,
Right.
Then when you meditate, like you don't have thinking about I'm going to transform, just everything is transformed into natural mind state that then all this object, whatever going on is transformed.
So if
so that's a helps actually, in the meditation. You are stay in the nature, and then when you come back to post meditations, whatever this like arises, like you recognize kind of a more dreaming in the delusion ways, but you can dealing with that easily become. So that's like the in the meditation transforming means you really don't have to do anything. That's it's a transforming.
Right, just sit and observe it.
Yeah, just stay in the nature. So then all is transformed.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Then that's a helps it come back to the when you come back to the pause meditation, and you recognize whatever this situation is not really exist, and that don't really affect you much. Like okay, let it go or change mindset. The emotion comes, like thoughts arise, look to the mind. Okay, despair the thoughts, emotions. That's all the time you can do, right? Long as we have awareness and mindful. So like say something, sometimes we no mindful, talk too much, we say, oh, recognize, or talking too much, like chant mantra. And sometimes we distracting object, right away recognize, visualize the yidam deity. So that's also transforming.
Okay.
So that is like more kind of a post meditation transforming. And then you really into the natural mind. So then everything is transformed.
And doing that in post meditation will enhance your meditation, will it?
I didn't get that. Can you say again?
So if in post meditation you're also doing that, it'll strengthen your ability to do it in meditation.
So who can you explain someone's question, Marilyn, more clear?
So I can explain. So if I'm in my post meditation and I'm transforming stuff that happens, negative stuff, I'm sort of transforming it or letting it go, letting it dissolve. Does that helps me build the habit so that when I meditate, it's easier to do?
Could be, yeah. Then you have less thoughts, less emotions, right? So we cannot in too much meditation state because thoughts, emotions habituate. So that's why.
Okay. Thank you.
So we have bird habituate, good habituate in the post meditation, in the meditation.
Thanks.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you another question. You mentioned the recitations of the supplication to Torah. Okay, well, I love the supplications to Torah. I don't understand every word in Torah. So, you know, I mean, there's some things I tell myself I need to study a little bit more to totally understand. So even though you don't totally understand, like a lot of sadhanas, are the recitations still helping us transform? It's like planting seeds.
Yes.
Okay, then I can. So I can go ahead and recite the Torah, the supplications, the Torah, and study as time permits, and that's okay.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
I have one more question. The mantra trikas, can they use their powers to help other people, or is it just for themselves?
I think they help others too.
Okay, I thought, okay, thank you.
I think they're like healers, right?
Yeah. They're like healers, yes.
Is that like the beginning stage of realization?
I don't know really that we don't know.
Okay.
Khenpo, I have a question. It's more curiosity, and I don't know if you know or not, but when we, you know, when in our deluded minds, we meditate, and at certain point we can meditate on awareness of awareness. You're aware, and then a portion of your mind is looking at your own mind, being aware that you are aware. When you are in our own innate knowing awareness, that's Dharmakaya. Does something like that happens also? Do we know that we're there? Or it's just like Sandra was saying, just being there, bliss, and just looking at whatever is there, just aware.
Can you say again?
Like, is there when you're in your innate knowing awareness, in that state, are we aware that we're in that state?
Which state?
Of innate knowing awareness, that is the essence of Dharmakaya.
Okay, so the
So are we aware that we're there? Like, you know what I mean?
Watcher, Raul, like I heard you say, you know, you have like a watcher watching your mind. You're aware of the watcher watching the mind. And you're wondering if you have that split in the Dharmakaya. Do you have your awareness and then the awareness of the awareness? Or is it something unified?
So the thing about the name Dharmakaya is just take out the labor, you know. Take the labor first, take out the labor makes confusion. So when you meditate, you really recognize your mind is presently awareness, empty, is there or no? You feel that, you recognize that?
Yes, you should.
No thoughts be present. So then that's it. So you recognize that, then you recognize. You don't recognize, then you not yet recognize.
Doesn't last very long though. It's really.
So yeah, it's sometimes you be in the, if you stay like 5 minutes, really, if really be in the nature, it's powerful. It's harder to be in the nature because it's so thoughts is like kind of wong, you know. See into where the nature present and like kind of heat there and off, heat and off. Then you maybe stay a little bit longer. So like that often happen. And then you stay in the nature, non-conceptual, you become fierce more longer than maybe used to little bit. So that is like if you recognize, yeah, kind of like then that's then you recognize that's called Dharmakaya, but the no need to put label Dharmakaya. Sometimes the name makes it hard, you know, Dharmakaya means something special somewhere. Then harder to understand. So that is actually nirvana. That is a dharma dhatu because no object there, no deluded. Yeah. So your mind is deluded, then samsara. Think about the samsara. Deluded is a samsara, no deluded is nirvana. So we create the samsara nirvana.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you,
Thank
Khenpo.
you.
Yeah.
Khenpo, what would you say of the fivefold Mahamudra path overcome self-grasping? Is it the deity practice? What would do it?
Actually, I think this all practice, this 5 of them is helps overcome of negativity. Then the mind generation helps more powerful, right? Power practices become powerful. Then say Yadam Deity, Mahamudra, this Guru Yoga, this is 3 main practice. So you before like go into the Mahamudra practice like Yadam Deity and Guru Yoga and then into the natural mind meditate. Or helps, you know, different ways. That's your question or?
Yeah. I mean,
then we need just depending. Some days we need Yadam Deity practice, some days Guru Yoga helps, some days like Mahamudra. It's also different ways like really benefit. Not only this 5 part just named there, you know. Actually all this practice is Dharma. Everything has different kind of aspects benefit. When you practice like just bring the actually all the qualities. Like if you build the house, so then you put one something in the part of house. That's also like make the strong house, right? You put the one brick and that also makes a strong the house. You put the nail, that also makes it strong. So you put the wood, that makes it strong. So like that, all these different practices makes become many different ways you are strong in the strong. So then which is important is everything is important. You cannot take one part there, say this is important.
I know for me, so sometimes I feel like emotional things come from thought. You know, it's not always like that, but often. And that I could watch it disappear, but if I'm really fixated on something, like if if it's a problem for me, it's like somebody pressed a button, an old button, then it's just a replay, right? Like the thought replays, the emotion comes, the thought, the emotion.
Yes.
So it's hard to say, I'm just going to say and let it dissipate into emptiness because it does, but it comes right back.
Right.
And so for that, it seems the problem is self-grasping, and that's why I asked you my question.
grasping?
Yeah, I mean, the reason it's
Self-grasping, yes.
Yeah, that's the reason.
Yeah, so that's a kind of like we have to practice longer, meditate longer, and something like shine, so comobarding, and focus with object, breath, on ahong, and then yadam deity, guru yoga, mahamudra, all this helps, but we don't really apply strongly. When this comes, we don't apply enough. Yeah.
So Khenpo,
Because the problems our habituate is like so strong, this grasping it's like comes so strong that play again, then becomes strong and strong. So we don't how to apply them some method. If we apply, definitely works. So you stay just 1 hour, 100%. Say, I'm not going to do anything, like just let go form and put effort to meditate. First, you use like mind for body meditation because the mind needed to let go these thoughts, emotion. So at least you create first, make your mind is stable. Then you can control your mind. Otherwise, we cannot control the mind. If you say, I'm going to practice Yadam Deity, still mind is cannot control. Practice Mahamudra cannot control. So that's the reason it's best is mind for body meditation. It's keep your mind be with the body. Focus. Then mind is like slowly, bring to with your body. And your mind is you tight up, become with your body and breathe. So then you apply practice Yadam Deity Mahamudra as works. So that's where we subdued the crazy minds. Like, I know what you're talking, really. I have that problem too. So very hard to stop that.
Khenpo?
Then I use like say the mindful body meditation and this supplication para, that two things that works perfectly for me. So other like is big teachings, thinking about the laws, chant mantras, like mantra also sometimes like thoughts. The mantra didn't keep me like peacefully because still thought is there and cannot stop that. So that's the reason mindful body meditation and focus with the breath and then supplication para. So that's work for me. Have to stay longer. It's first like 10-20 minutes. It's very hard. Then we share this way of a Bodhisattva, mindful awareness. That's used very strongly. Have to use, apply. Okay, Thomas.
Now, when you were talking earlier about that moment, that very moment that when you wake up in the morning, that split second when there is no thought in your mind before that the dualistic thought comes into your head, that split moment. Now,
yes,
what you were trying, I guess you were explaining, every day we have that moment. Every day when we wake up, we have that moment, that moment of complete free of any thought.
Yes.
At that moment, can we enlighten? Can we get actual ultimate enlightenment in that? And then recognizing that mind right then and there. Because I know
that then you can be practitioner, can be good practitioner. So
because I know what you're talking. When you first open your eyes, it's just no thought.
Okay, so then after you never go to the delusion, then you never go into the delusion. You are enlightened there if you can keep that.
You're enlightened at that one split second.
Yeah, exactly.
Then you just that moment, whatever you have, or you become whole day, whole months, whole years, be that nature, then you are enlightened there.
So every day we have a complete enlightenment. Every day, every morning we wake up. I mean, I can't say I understand, but I because that second when you open your eyes, it just
no, I think no open eye, but just
right before, you know, it's like
something, yeah.
And then you start, oh, I gotta
but
get up.
Just wake up means like your sleeping is like become gone, right? Sleeping is gone, waking up mind. So that first
energy in their mind body. You know, some people, their mind works slower, they're more careful, and then some people have maybe more fire in their body and they're quicker. It seems like there's a disadvantage, you know, to having a quick mind in lots of these situations. Like if you could slow your mind, you would maybe wake up slower, you'd have time to recognize the natural state of mind. For people who have different qualities, are there different recommendations, you know?
The recommendation is we have just see this Mahamudra, Guru, Yoga, Yadam deities. This all is can be you use in when you arise, yeah. So then we don't have like, oh, your mind is a slow mind. You can Mahamudra is like slow moving. Your mind is speed like Mahamudra is fast moving. I don't know that. They how to use the method. They don't say anything, but we have this Guru Yoga, Yadam Deity, Mahamudra. This all is like you can use that when you're waking up. That's why this is the main practice.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you, everyone. So now we're going to do the dedication together.
Khenpo, I think Gail had a question, if she's still here.
Yeah.
No, that's okay. It was just a comment on people in remunerative trends, states of mind, that lots of times those people are very worried about something. So then you have to work on the antidote to worry, to drop it, you know, and to let it go. So that's more in Western psychology. Those for people who don't have meditative skills or anything, that still have a remunerative mind, that you have to somehow let things go and not obsess about it.
Okay, so thank you. And then we're going to do the dedication together.
Raul, do you want me to share it or are you?
No, I'm not in as.
Oh, I didn't. Oh.
Okay. Emaho in the center. Right. On the right side is the Lord of great compassion. And on the left is Vajrapani, the Lord of powerful means. All are surrounded by limitless Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Immeasurable peace and happiness is the bliss for pure of their watching. When I and all beings pass from samsara, may we be born there without taking samsaric rebirth. May I have the blessing of meeting Amitabha face to face. By the power of a blessing of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in the 10 directions, may we attain this aspiration without hindrance. Tiyata Pinjandaya Avambodhanaya Soha. Emma Bodhicitta, the excellent precious mind. Where it is unborn, may it arise. Where it is may arise, no decline, but ever increase higher and higher. By this virtue may I achieve emanation by defeating all enemies. Enemies, confusion. May all who travel on the waves of birth, old age, sickness, and death cross the ocean of samsara. As majority they will realize the automatic state and are did Samantabhada, I will follow in the path and fully dedicate all the merit for all sentient beings. May the teaching of Great Gompa Ranashiri, who is emanation, Lord of Dharma, Master of Interdependence, continue and increase through study, practice, contemplation, and meditation until the end of the samsara. Thanks, everyone. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Khenpo.
Khenpo.
See you
Thank you,
tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye.
Khenpo.
Thank you, Khenpo.
Thank you.